Hi everybody and welcome to Blackwood Engage Layout and a late March update on what's been happening on the layout since the last update in February. The camera's obviously pointing at the side of the layout that is being rebuilt. As I said in the last video, all the track was down. I have made a slight track alteration. The control panel that was in the process of being wired up in the last update, that is now complete, and I have started track painting, and I've also started to repair some of the platform ends that obviously had to be taken away to accommodate the new track configuration. At the same time, Blackwood Town, which you can't quite see, Blackwood Town has actually disappeared. It is no longer there, it has been taken away. I was never 100% happy with it, and it wasn't actually glued in, so it's simply actually just been lifted out, and I will come up with some new configuration for that part of the layout. But without further ado, I will take the camera and I'll take you around this section of the layout, and I'll show you just exactly what I've been up to. Right, the control panel is now complete. It is all wired up. All the LEDs are in. As you can see, they're actually currently lit. All the studs for controlling of the points work. I have marked up with some temporary bits of information here exactly where everything goes or where everything leads to. I will get something a bit more professional once I find something suitable, but all the isolating sections in the fiddle yard are all obviously operational. All the yellow levers that you see here and over there, they are for switching power into different circuits. Again, they are all wired up. There's only a couple of isolating sections. There's an isolating section on the main line round the back, which obviously when I put that on indicates that it's isolated. So panel is more or less complete. The last video I did have a couple of temporary panels here that had been in here for years and years and years. As you can see, they are away. You'd never know they've been there. All the holes that took the wires have all been filled in, it's all been sanded, and it's all been painted. So that bit is now complete, and what I'll now do is we'll go and have a look at the slight track reconfiguration I carried out. Now, in the last update I did see that all the track was down, and it was down. However, I wasn't particularly happy with this section of track here. There was in actual fact almost a reverse S curve when I actually had laid the track, and the reason for that was because this point here I was actually situated too far back. It came immediately after this point, and it meant that this track here wasn't lined up with the existing track back here. So I was actually concentrating on actually sweeping the curve in for this bit of platform, and I kind of took my eye off the ball for this bit of track. So this point here has actually been moved. It's been moved slightly further forward, and this line here coming off the point has been lined up so it's absolutely straight on with the section of track there. This line here still obviously curves round. It just means that the platform here is just slightly narrower than it was going to be. That being said, the original platform that was here was very narrow, so it's not actually any narrower than the original platform. So that point was moved. In addition, I also moved this point here. So this goes into what will be platform 1A and platform 1B, and I moved this point further back. The point here originally was up round about here, So it's been moved back closer to where this baseboard joint is. The reason it's not further back is because, as I say, there is a baseboard joint and there's obviously timbers under there, so I wouldn't be able to get a point motor in. It's been moved back, and that's simply to give me a longer platform here. This platform here that I'm pointing at will now take a 4-car EMU. Before, it would only take just over a 2 or a 3-car DMU. It will now actually accommodate a 4-car EMU, and the platform will obviously come up when it's built to somewhere around about there where I'm putting it on the pencil. The other thing you'll also see the camera's pointing at is, as I've mentioned before, I have actually put in the ends of the platform again. So these platform ends were obviously removed to accommodate the new track formation. So they were cut back. You can probably see the difference in the colours here. It's just because this is obviously brand spanking new, and that's obviously been down for about 6 or 7 years. So it's faded very slightly. But as you can see, the 2 platform ends have been put in, this one here and the one over on the back. There's still a little bit of work to be done with fences, etc, etc, but at least those 2 platforms are full length again. If I try and turn the camera around, you'll see where the class 158 DMU is sitting. Obviously those platforms there have still to be rebuilt, and there's obviously a new bit of platform to come in here. So that's another little job that has to be undertaken. The other thing that I have obviously been started work on is track painting. Now you'll see these tracks here have already been painted, as have these couple of tracks here. You can still see the shiny rail here where it's not been painted, and you'll see the outside loop there. You'll see the inside loop there, you can see it's been painted. The outside loop's still to be painted. Now what I'll do is I'll actually explain to you how I actually go about track painting, because I know some people have asked me in the past. In front of you I have my track painting kit. Very simple kit, made up of, first of all, a piece of linen cloth, couple of paint brushes, which I'll come back to in a minute, and 3 Humbrol matte tinlets. There is matte 98, which is a chocolate coloured paint. There is matte 28, which is a kind of dirty white, and then we have matte 113, which is the rusty rail colour. The 2 paint brushes, they are both by Daller and Rowney. This one here is a number 10 flat paintbrush. They're nylon bristles, and this one here is quite a wide paintbrush, and that is used for painting the actual sleepers. The other paintbrush, again, same company, Daller and Rowney. This is a flat shader, number 2, and this is wide enough just to get in between the sleepers on engaged track. Methodology to paint the track is simple. If you are painting wooden slipper track, the first thing we want to do is take off the plastic shine on the wooden slippers. To do that, take the bigger of the 2 paint brushes. Using the matte 98, you simply paint everything. Rail sides, don't worry about painting rail sides. You paint the rail sides, you paint the sleepers, leave it to dry, and that will take your shine away from the actual sleepers. Before it dries, obviously I use the linen cloth to wipe the tops of the rails, but some people will let the paint dry, then they'll take a track rubber to remove the hardened on paint, but I find it easier just to remove it at the time of painting. Once it is dried, then matte 113 with the smaller paintbrush, and the way I do it is I keep the paintbrush vertical. Once I've loaded the paint onto the paintbrush, don't need a lot, I it's vertical strokes in between each of the sleepers. You can work along quite quickly. It doesn't take you long to do. And once you've done maybe, maybe half an inch of track, reload the brush, and then an angle come along the top. Again, doesn't matter whether you're getting paint on the top of the rails. Once you've done your small section of track, it's the linen cloth and it's a wipe along the top of the track to remove the wet paint. Exactly the same principle for the concrete sleeper track. Obviously you're going to paint first of all with the matte 28. Again, you want to cover absolutely everything. Don't worry if you get white paint on the sides of the rails, because that's obviously going to be covered with the rusty rail paint. So the same principle. It does take a little bit longer to do the concrete sleeper track, because you have to just be a little bit more careful, and you've got to make sure that when you are painting in between the tracks, that you go just below the bottom of the actual rail, because you don't want a bit of shiny rail sticking out once you've actually ballasted it. Once the track has all been painted, it can be ballasted. And once the ballast is dry, I'll take another paintbrush, and this time I'll probably use either Rail Match or I think it's Phoenix paints, the rail paints, where you get track grime, your oil, etc., and that will be dry brushed onto the track, onto the ballast and the track, and that then will blend absolutely everything in together, and that should give you good looking ballasted track. That's the way I do it. There are other ways. I'm not saying this is the best way of doing it. I find this quite therapeutic to come out and spend maybe half an hour at night time painting a section of track. And it's amazing how over a period of a week you actually get quite a considerable amount of track actually painted. And once you start to paint the track, all of a sudden it starts to go from that sort of toy train sort of look into actually a model rail, even though there's no ballast on it. So that is my method, as I say, of painting the track, and it's up to yourself whether you want to follow that. There are other methods. You can obviously, if you own an airbrush, you can airbrush the track. A lot of people do that. Similarly, a lot of people just use rattle cans and they spray the track using rattle cans. But as I say, this is the method I employ. I've employed that throughout the whole layout, and I find it works for me. And at the end of the day, it's what works for the individual. It's not, there's no hard and fast rule. And that concludes the section on track painting. So the last bit of this update is pointing at what was the Blackwood Town High Street, and as you can see, it has disappeared. It's no longer there, it's gone. It was never ever actually fully fixed in, and it was never ever actually completed. The far end of the town just didn't exist, but I just never ever filmed any of it, so you were never probably aware that it didn't actually finish. It was never actually finished off. One of the principal reasons for taking it away is the road bridge that you see coming across there is actually at a different height from the road bridge that goes across at the station. And while that road bridge at the station was joined onto the high street, it meant it had to run up a slight hill, and the bridge that took the track at that point I was never ever happy with. So I've actually taken it away, and I'm in the process of trying to come up with a better solution. There may not be any road there at all. There may be some industrial buildings. There's a couple of things going through my mind at the moment as to what's actually going to be there, but the actual town itself has been removed. So that actually probably brings us to the end of this update. Not a huge amount happening because obviously a lot of it is time consuming. Track painting, etc. Obviously wiring up, running all the wires under the layout for the control panel. That has taken quite a considerable amount of time, but work is progressing on the layout. All the tracks are working. But that's the update just now. What I will do is I'll get some trains running and I'll tag on the running session to the end of the video. So until the next time, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. It does help the channel, and I'm actually amazed the channel is now well over 2,000 subscribers. So until next time, everyone take care, and I'll catch you all very soon. Cheers, thanks.